Hey guys, Mark here. In this video, I'm going to be going over the winning video ad strategy that is currently making me $250,000 per month in sales. This is the stats from last month here. And the reason that I'm making this video is simply because there are so many people that are not talking about this strategy here. Everybody is really focusing on the wrong thing. So if you do one quick little search for dropshipping, what you'll find is everybody talking about the winning product, everybody talking about how to set up your campaigns, but nobody's really talking about the most important piece of the puzzle, which is how to actually create winning video ads that scale. Not a creative, not an ad that gets one sale one day, zero sales the next, but a winning ad that can actually scale. The more spend you put behind it, the more profitable it becomes. And so in this video, that's actually what I'm going to be giving you here. And the thing that you need to understand is that when it comes to running ads, 90% of your success, no joke, 90% is going to come down to how well you can create creatives at scale. How well you can go from nothing to simply creating the most high curiosity ad that powers conversions into your store. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact structure of a winning ad, what it looks like. And I'm going to talk about a lot of things that you won't see anywhere else. And this is the reason that we have the results that we do, is simply because the strategies that we use within our ads is not really talked about anywhere else. So without further ado, let me actually show you kind of the breakdown of these particular ads. And so when you take a winning ad, for example, let's say that this is an ad that's about 60 to 90 seconds long, you can break it down into multiple component parts. And as you can see, the first part here is actually the hook. Now, you probably know that the most important part of the ad is the hook itself. So if I say that 90% of your success on Facebook or on TikTok, it comes down to your ads, that's true. Well, 90% of the success of your ad comes down to how strong the hook is. And so the hook is the first 3 to 5 seconds of the video ad that you are running. I don't care what type of ad that you're running for a clothing brand, for a traditional like dropshipping product, it doesn't matter. As long as you understand this framework, you will be able to run more profitable ads basically tomorrow. So if you steal this strategy, don't forget about me. So the first thing that I really want to go over is how to actually construct very high converting hooks, because everybody knows that they're important, but nobody really talks about how to actually create them. And so what you probably don't know about a hook is that it's actually made up of 3 different parts. When you're the one scrolling on Facebook or on Instagram and you get hit with an ad, you're getting hit with an audio visual experience. That's the way that I want you to think about it, audio and visual. And so when most people think of the hook, they're probably thinking of the first line of copy that you actually use within the ad. So that's going to go at the very top of this little pyramid here, because it is the most important. However, it's only 1/3 of the equation, okay? So the copy is a specific line of text that you're using within the video creative. So let's say that you're selling a posture corrector, for example. That first line of text could be, "This device cured my bad posture in less than 1 week," for example. Now that's a really aggressive claim, not the best example, but that would be the copy side of what makes a winning hook. It's very, very important. And I'm going to show exactly how you can actually write high converting copy as a part of the hook. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. Now, like I said, this is only one part of the equation, the copy. There are 2 other parts. And so the next part that you're going to want to test is going to be the clip. And so by clip, what I mean here is that this is the video that is being matched with the copy. So if back to the posture corrector example, this is going to be a very extremely high curiosity first clip, the video that you're using within that first 3 to 5 seconds of the ad. And so these are 2 different things that you can split test right away that can either make or break an ad. And again, I don't see anybody talking about this. All I see is people talking about, you need to have a good hook, you need to have a good scroll stopper, blah, blah, blah. But they don't talk about delineating the copy versus the clip itself. And so these are 2 parts of what makes a really, really good hook, is you have to have a very high curiosity copy and very high curiosity clips. They need to go together and need to match. And the third part, which is the least important part of the hook, but is still a part nonetheless, is going to be the actual audio. And so what I mean by audio is, are you using a clip that is being read, for example, by AI? Like, is that first clip being read through like 11 Labs or some other AI generated voice? Is there any audio at all? Is there music in the background? Is it being read by a spokesperson? Whatever it is, that is the third element of what makes a really, really good hook. The key thing here is that all of these 3 pieces have to go together. They work in unison. And if you mess up one, then the whole hook is officially destroyed. And so you need to be very, very intentional with how you're structuring your hooks. And so that's what the majority of this video is going to be about. How do you actually create really high converting copy, a high converting clip, and high converting audio that all go together such that you can have a profitable ad from day one. And if you don't know like what a winning ad is versus what a non-winning ad is, it's very simple. A winning ad is profitable very, very early. Like it's going to be pretty clear to you when you run ads at scale. And even when you're just starting out, you're going to know really quickly whether or not something is a winner, because all of your other ads are going to be unprofitable and this one is not. A winning ad is something that is not only profitable, but profitable across multiple audiences. And so when you're scaling an ad, some ads may only work in some pockets of audience. Those are what I call like a C tier or B tier ad, right? If you think of the tier list, the ranking scale, that would be a B or C tier. However, if you want to have an A or even an S tier ad, you need to incorporate all of these elements together, or else you're not really going to have an ad that scales. And like I said, the most important thing is that you have all of these working together. Okay, so the most important part of the ad is the hook itself. So the next question becomes, okay, how do you actually create these hooks? How do you actually have something that is really high curiosity and gets them to continue watching? The single most important thing about a hook is that you get people to continue watching. In e-commerce, a good click-through rate is a click-through rate of about 3%, which means out of 100 people that see your ad, 3 of them are actually going to click through and go to your website. So the only job of the hook is simply to get people to stop and continue watching the rest of the ad, because this is not where the real selling is done. This is simply just to get people out of the doom scrolling that they're already going through, okay? And so how do you actually know that you have a good hook? Well, it should check a few boxes. So I have a few things listed out here that I want to go through with you one by one. And the first is going to be, is it high curiosity? If I were to mention a hook to you, is it something that is going to pique your interest and get you to continue watching? That is the first thing that you need to make sure that that hook has. The second thing is going to be calling out the pain point. And so this is a super, super common thing that e-com people do. In general, in e-com and in ads in general, I hate using cliches. I hate starting an ad with, are you suffering from XYZ? It sounds like one of those commercials where you're talking about, do you or a loved one suffer with mesothelioma? That's just like, you're just asking for people to scroll on your ad with that. That's why you need to have the extremely high curiosity built in to that hook. So that's the second thing. The third thing is that it actually promises a solution. And guys, as I'm going through this list, you don't need to have every single one of these boxes checked. I would shoot, I think there's a list of 7 or 8 things here. You want to shoot to have at least 4, okay? You want to have at least 4 of these boxes checked. So promising the solution would be, like for example, let's just keep with the posture corrector. This posture corrector instantly solved my horrible posture. I mean, in that case, we're calling out the pain point and the solution. Although in that case, I would say that we're lacking the curiosity. So we're going to want to work on that. After that, you want to have specificity. The power in specificity is probably the reason that you clicked on this video in the first place. This didn't just say how to make winning ads. This had a specific number in the title of this video. Humans love numbers, and they especially love numbers that are highly specific. And so the more specific that you can get about the outcome, about the product that you're selling, the better that ad is going to perform. After specificity, you have simplicity. You could have a hook that is 2 or 3 sentences long. That hook is always going to pale when you compare it to an ad that is short and clear. I'm looking at some of the ads that you guys send me over on Instagram, and the first thing that comes to mind is just confusion. It's just not clear. It's not simple. And if you think of the average user that you're trying to sell to on Facebook or on Instagram or on TikTok, they have nowhere near the understanding of the product that you do. You need to make sure that the language that you're using is simple. And so a simple trick that you can use to make sure that your language is simple is actually to go to hemingwayapp.com, and you're going to paste your hook into Hemingway. In fact, I would paste all of the copy of your specific ad into Hemingway and make sure that it's at a 5th grade reading level or lower. Yes, you heard that right, a 5th grade reading level. That is the level that you want to be marketing to. And it's not really about, most people watching this ad are not smart. It's nothing like that. It's just that you want to be using simple language, or else you're just not going to be speaking. It's going to sound like a foreign language, and people are scrolling, they're scrolling. They don't have the mental bandwidth to take time to understand what it is you're saying. You just need to have a consistent stream of consciousness right into their brain. There's a really, really good quote that says, you have to enter the conversation in the prospect's mind. So what it is that they're thinking, you want to enter that exact same line of thought that they're thinking within that ad. So this is where research becomes very, very important, okay? If you want to take it a step further, you want to enter the conversation in their mind. Yes, of course. You also want to enter the emotion in their body. Most people are not buying based off of logic. They're not even aware of the conversation that they're having within their mind. They're especially not aware of the emotions, yet they feel them. And so if you can hit them in the emotions, that is going to be a significantly stronger ad, a significantly stronger hook than one that does not. So that's number 5 there. Number 6 is going to be credibility or addressing skepticism. And so a lot of really big direct response brands do this, and they'll start with something like top doctor reveals, right? Instantly, you have credibility for the product that you're selling. So I want you to ask yourself, with the product that you're selling, what would be the highest level of credibility? Maybe it's going to be a doctor, maybe it's going to be some other type of expert. But if you can position it in this way, you're immediately pushing your ad up in the auction, because when compared to other ads where they're all just focused on the product, you're focused on the credibility of why that product was created in the first place. So that's number 6 there. And number 7, the final one here, is the time frame to achieve results of promise. So in that first example of the posture corrector, the thing that you need to understand is that if they can get a result in a specific amount of time, think about that. You're now checking off 2 different boxes. If you say that you can achieve results in a specific amount of time, you're both checking the specificity as well as a time frame to achieve results of promise, okay? So when we go through and actually write a hook right after this, what I want you to do is think about, how can we find a hook that checks at least 4 of these boxes? Is it creating curiosity in the prospect? Are you calling out the pain point? Are you promising a solution? Do you have specificity, etc.? You want to check 4 out of the 7 at an absolute minimum. And the important thing is here, and this is why I love Stoic philosophy so much, you want to completely remove yourself. One of the biggest issues I had when I was starting out in dropshipping was that I would look at my store, I would look at my ads, and I would think they're the fucking best. I would say these are the best ads anybody has ever created. I felt a sense of pride when I was looking at these ads. And that's actually a problem, because that means that I'm not deeply understanding the prospect. Now, anytime that I'm going to write an ad for a particular product, I understand them at such a deep level that I can communicate that through the copy that I write. And so when you are writing the copy, which again, if we go to our triangle up here, that's the most important piece, then you need to have 4 out of these 7 boxes checked. And after we have that piece of copy, again, which we'll do in just 1 second, so make sure you continue watching, you want to match that with a clip, okay? The important thing about the clip is, honestly, it's only going to be the curiosity. Some of the ads that I have seen that have scaled most aggressively on paid traffic, the clip will be something that you watch and you're like, what in the hell did I even just watch? Like, even for me, there's a sense of curiosity that just sparks in my brain. And it has to be something so aggressive. I cannot even emphasize enough how aggressive you have to be in the hooks. And I don't mean aggressive by like being disrespectful to the viewer, to the user. All I mean is that when it comes to the copy that you're actually writing, it needs to be the highest curiosity that you can possibly imagine. That is what the best ad runners do in the world. That's why my whole, credo, my whole slang is run more ads, because the only way that you can really scale is if you are able to pique that curiosity at a ridiculously high level, okay? And so from here, the next question becomes, okay, we know the clip, we know the audio, we know the copy. How do we actually create that, okay? And so the best way that you can actually create that first line of the hook in terms of the actual copy, which again is the most important part of the hook itself, is simply by looking at what has worked best in the past. Luckily for you, marketers have been around for a long fucking time, and you can literally steal the exact headlines, the exact hooks that other offers have used that have generated millions upon millions of dollars. So let me actually show you how to go about that particular process there. So I did a quick search for posture corrector and I found this brand here. Now it's not exactly the brace that people wear, but it is a digital device that can help with your posture. And so I'm just going to use this brand as an example and actually write a hook for these guys as if this were my own brand. So the first thing that I would do is you want to have a completely really high level understanding of exactly how this particular product works, okay? And so what you want to do in order to extract all that information is you want to be able to feed all of this into AI. So what I do typically is I will come across a product like this, and I'll use this extension right here. It's called Go Full Page. And if I click this, it's actually going to take a screenshot of this entire page, and I'll be able to export that screenshot as a PDF file. And that's actually going to be what I feed into ChatGPT in order to have context around the offer and the product that we're actually selling here. So I'm just going to go right up here and select download PDF, and it's just going to download right in my folder down there. So now let's head over to ChatGPT and start feeding it some prompts. By the way, guys, this is just one of the pieces of technology. I'm sure that you're all very familiar with ChatGPT. I actually use ChatGPT with the addition of another software that nobody really knows about. So if you want my full list of prompts and access to that software, please just hit the second link in the description of this video, and I'll happily send that over to you. So I spent some time working here with ChatGPT. Again, if you want the full prompts and exactly how I use this, plus access to the software, please just hit the second link in the description. But as you can see here, we now have a good list of 20 potential hooks that we could use for our product that we're selling here, the Upright Go 2. So the important thing here is that anytime you're working with AI, I know a lot of people use ChatGPT, or they use Claude, or they use any other LLM model. They complain about how the copy that it outputs is not good. All they have to say about that is that AI is only as good as the person running it. So as long as you give it enough background and enough deep psychological information about the prospect, it can spit out some phenomenal copy. Trust me, I have written ads that have generated 7 and 8 figures plus, like singular ads that have generated that amount of revenue. It's absolutely absurd. And so I can say confidently that it is not the it is not the AI that is a problem. It is a person that is actually running it. And so now that you have these examples here, you want to go through every single headline and actually pick the ones that check at least 4 of the 7 criteria that I named earlier. And this is like literally, this is the exact process that I use to create winning ads, specifically winning hooks of ads that can scale on cold traffic. Okay, so this is very, very important for you to understand. So now that you have the hook, let's move on to the next part of the ad. So again, the number one job of the hook is simply to get people to continue watching. And so after you have the hook, we're going to move on to the next part of the ad, which is the body. And so the body, in my opinion, is like as you go through the ad, every section subsequently becomes less and less important. That's why I say the hook is 90% of your success of the success of an ad in the first place. Okay, the body. The whole point of the body is simply to explain exactly how the product can uniquely solve the problem that the prospect has. So my philosophy on finding products is very different from most people. I actually like going after saturated products, and the only reason I can sell those is because of this framework right here, okay? So the body, I'm not gonna go into specific examples, but the most important thing here is that you clearly explain how this product uniquely solves the problem of the prospect, okay, of the person actually watching the ad. So what a lot of people don't realize, if you ever look on ad spy tools and you see these websites that they just look really, really poor, like they have really terribly designed landing pages, they have no upsells in place. If you're wondering why they have an ad with like 10,000 likes or 5,000 likes or 1,000 likes, it's because their ad is actually doing the selling. So the more selling that you can do in the ad, actually the better, as long as you're selling in the right way. So after the whole body section, what you want to move on to after this is going to be the first call to action. Now, you'll probably notice pretty quickly that there is another call to action later in the structure of a winning ad. The reason why is because this middle section right here actually does more selling before a second call to action. And so the first call to action, my rule of thumb when it comes to call to actions on ads is keep it simple. A lot of people on Facebook, this may be shocking, they simply don't know how to buy from you. If you told them to buy and you tell them how to buy, you'll probably get more sales and more profit from a winning ad. So make sure you tell them to click the link on this ad to get the product for like 50% off, or get the product today, or see if you have availability. Whatever your angle is for actually selling the product, make sure that it's included here. This should be one line, absolute max, okay? If you want, you can have a line right before this that says, this company is running out of stock, but now you'll be able to have, like the next 100 units are like 50% off. So if you're still seeing this ad, then you can still get in on the discounts. Make sure you click and get access. That could be an example of a well-constructed CTA. Notice that was still only one sentence. So I wouldn't recommend going over anything more than one sentence. After the first call to action, the next section of a winning ad is going to be the testimonials and the credibility. So there's a lot of people, granted, that are very, very skeptical of ads on Facebook in general. And so your goal here with the people that don't click that first call to action is simply to add social proof to the ad. Okay, so social proof is extremely, extremely powerful. So if you run a brand, if you have any specific credibility boosters, such as your ad has been featured here, or you have a celebrity that's used your ad, or you have like 1,000+ people that have used your ad, or if you just want to simply highlight a few specific testimonials of your product, like Jan here, who started using our product and went from like, this posture here to having like really good, strong posture, or Susan, who's like a stay-at-home mom and spends a lot of her time kind of bent over and doing all these chores and tasks, and now she's able to have like perfect posture. That would be two really good examples of testimonials here. And then the final thing is going to be a second call to action. So once again, don't overthink the call to action here. It's very, very simple. It's a simple process, and you just want to get them off of Facebook. That is your goal. Facebook doesn't really like this. I'm actually a fan of running a little bit longer ads, like 3+ minutes. Simply because you can pull more emotional triggers, you can do more kind of magician work with your copy. But if you're just starting out, I would not recommend that, because the longer copy that you're writing in the ad, the longer your ad is, the better of a marketer you have to be, the better copy you have to really write, because you're fighting for every single second of their attention. I need you to understand this. You need to be the most aggressive you possibly can when it comes to writing ads, when it comes to creating winning ads, because if there's one thing that you take away from this video, it's that whatever you think is a good hook, put that shit on steroids, okay? 10x it. It needs to be 10 times better than you think it actually is. And one of the ways that I like to actually pre-validate if an ad is going to be successful, specifically if a hook is going to be successful, is, and I wasn't even planning on sharing this, but what I'll do to make sure that a hook actually resonates with a particular audience is, before I go like straight into a conversion ad, what I'll do, let's say I have 10 different hooks that I want to test, but I don't want to create 10 different ads and start spending on these expensive conversion campaigns. What I'll do, I'll set up a traffic campaign, and inside of this traffic campaign, I have one ad set, and inside that one ad set, I have 10 individual ads, okay? So the reason that I do that is you want to keep that one ad set very, very specific to your audience. So in the posture corrector example, let's say you're targeting an interest that is just related to posture or related to back pain. Anybody that is within the market, you want to keep it really simple and simply don't overthink it. But inside of that one ad set, you're going to have 10 ads. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to Facebook and you're going to set up an automated rule that turns off every single ad within that one ad set every time that it hits 1,000 impressions, okay? As soon as it hits 1,000 impressions, set a rule to turn off that ad. After you run this test, this is gonna be super cheap. Absolute max, it'll be $50 to $100, and it's worth it, I promise. Because what you're gonna find is that there's gonna be one specific ad, one specific hook that resonates with your audience the most. And so if you're wondering what ads you're actually gonna run, it's literally just gonna be a white screen like this, literally just a white square box, and in black text, you are going to write the actual hook that you're planning on using in quotes. And this is going to drive directly to your product page, your landing page, or whatever you're selling to. That's it. It's super, super simple. And what you're going to do after you let this run for a few days and all of the ads have officially been turned off, you're going to go look inside of that traffic campaign, and whichever ad has the highest click-through rate is going to be the hook that you're going to use inside of the actual winning ad that you create. So this is a great way to do what I call pre-validating your hook, because here you can actually split test the copy, you can split test the clip, you can even split test the audio if you want, and you can do it for dirt cheap before you actually start running a regular sales campaign. So this is a little hack. I wasn't really planning on sharing that, but I've used this many, many times, and it's actually helped us pump out more winners for our ads. So if you're just starting out, this is a great way to kind of reduce your risk and actually create winning ads without spending as much money on the ads. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Just so that you know, when it comes to running winning ads, like I said, this is something that you simply can't mess up. And so what most people don't realize is that they really, really suck at having, they're not able to step outside of their shoes and look at an ad and be like, that's not a good ad. A lot of people just really lack the empathy that's needed to understand if your ad is a good ad or a bad ad. So that's actually exactly why we created Brand Builders Academy. It's a program that I created with Alex Fedotov. And inside this program, we actually assign you like a coach who can tell you before you actually run your ad and give you like the green light, say, yes, it's a good ad, that's a bad hook, you need to fix this, you need to fix that. So you can get personalized one-on-one feedback to make sure that when you do launch your ads, you're actually setting yourself up for success. So if you want to apply for that, just hit the first link in the description. Other than that, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to get access to, like I said, that software that I use, as well as all of the prompts that I use to create the most high converting copy for the hook, the body, for the entire ad, just hit the second link in the description. And I hope you guys enjoyed. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.